Hello, Mr. Rosencrantz here. I just wanted to briefly walk through as a reminder of what course registration looks like for the upcoming school year as we approach that time for you to pick out classes for next year. Whether you're a current freshman, current sophomore, or current junior, you're all going to be doing this online, and you're going to have 2 weeks available for you to do this from February 5th until February 19th. So, this page will be available for you once February 5th rolls around. There's a button over here that says class registration. That's not there yet for you, but during the time that the window is open, from the 5th to the 19th, that button will be there for you to click on. You can go back in, make changes, you can submit whatever you are looking to take for next year. But I wanted to briefly give you a quick reminder. Okay, so this one's an example of what the sophomores this year are going to see because they're going to be juniors, class of 2023. It'll look very similar for those to be sophomores as well, the current freshmen, and then the juniors who are going to be seniors next year. It'll look similar, but a little bit different because you won't have to select quite as much on there. But this is the page that you'll come to for picking out classes. So this should look familiar to you from the past couple years that you've done this. It's going to be broken down by core subjects: English, math, science, social studies, electives, and study hall. Okay, so we'll just go line by line. There's a little pencil over here that you can click on that opens up the page for your English classes. Okay, so as you scroll through here, for the students that are going to be juniors next year, you're going to have options to pick from as far as English classes go. Many of them are semester-long classes, and you can see that by the amount of credit that they're worth. Okay. Um, However, those that are going to be sophomores, you'll just have to pick a full year English 10. Seniors, it'll be very similar to this as well. Okay, so you'll have to pick out two of these unless you are doing the honors level. Okay, and you'll have a recommendation in there for that. So we're going to pick out two English classes. So we have our full credit, full year of English. Scroll down, click OK, and you'll see both of them in there. They're both a half credit, so you know you've got your full credit of English for your junior year. Next, we've got math. So let's open that up. Math classes are all 1 credit, so unless you take stats. Math, I'm just gonna pick Algebra 1 as an example since it's the first one there, but you'll have a recommendation in here. So if you're currently in geometry, you're gonna take Algebra 2. If you're in Algebra 2, you'll take pre-calc next year. You might take honors or AP for those as well, but there will be an option in here that is recommended by a teacher for you. Okay, as we scroll through, no recommendations, we'll click OK. Algebra 1 pops in there. We're all good to go. Next up, we've got science. You should have a recommendation in here. You'll all have some options available for science for this year. We can see that there is a recommendation put in here for botany from Mr. Plapp. So if you are curious who gave you the recommendation, just look on the right side. You'll also see that it's bolded rather than just normal font. Um, in this case, botany is only half a credit. So remember that. We need a full credit of science. So we'll click the recommended one. We'll scroll through here and let's also pick biotechnology to get that full credit of science. You can take a little more if you want. Many of you might be taking chemistry next year or animal science. There are different options available and there's other pages for you to check out as well. Okay. We also see physics here. So as a recommendation, okay, that's a good one to take if you're looking to head off to college. Many colleges like to see that as well. But really, you just need to get your full credit of science in here. Click OK. We have our full credit of science listed. We have a check mark over here. We're all good to go. Next up is social studies. So juniors, you will need to take American government as well as a full year of US history, which you should see in there as a recommendation. You might be recommended for AP as well. Sophomores, you'll take world history. Seniors, talk with your counselor if you're not sure what social studies you need, because you might be all done at that point. You might need a little bit more. Your counselor will be able to answer that question for you. Okay, we'll click OK. We have all of our social in there. We are good to go. Another check mark there. Okay. Next is electives. Remember, this is where you pick out your language classes if you're continuing with Spanish or French, your music classes, so band, choir, orchestra are in here, um, art classes, theater classes, business classes, agriculture classes. All of them are listed in the electives area. So you'll want to add all of them into that line. However, I'm going to do study hall first, so I don't forget to add that because that does count into the total. We'll click OK. We've got study hall in there. We are good to go. Before I do electives, I'm just going to make note of right down here. Okay, it says requires 8 credit hours. That means you have to have 8 credit hours, which would be adding up all these totals right here, to get up to 8. Okay. The next line is requesting 5.5, 5.5. So that means so far what we've put in equals up to 5.5, and we need to make sure that equals 8. Otherwise, you won't be able to submit this. Okay. So we're going to add enough electives here to get us up to 8 credits. So I'm just going to click off a few of these first ones here, just as an example. So now we've got, these are both half credits. We've got one there. This is a full credit 2. We'll add ACT prep, 2.5. And let's see what we're at. 2.5 plus 5.5 equals 8. So we are all good to go. They're all listed here. You've got your check marks. We're good. Before we submit, the last important piece is adding alternates in. As you know, we always ask you for 4 alternate classes. Those are our backup classes, just in case we can't fit in one of your electives. So I know everybody really wants to take accounting, but if that happens to not fit into your schedule, then we need to bump that one out and put in an alternate. So you'll need to pick 4 of these. So you'll scroll through. Please make them 4 different classes than your 4 electives, um, or than your electives. Having it in there twice isn't going to make a difference whether or not you get the class. So we'll scroll through. I'm trying to find one that's available. All these APs are not at the moment. And we need one more. Let's do beginning piano. Click OK. We have 4 in there now, and we're all good. We have, I'm just going to remove that for a sec. We've got all check marks here. We know we're good to go. On your screen, there will be a submit button here. On this demo account, we don't have that at the moment. Please make sure you click that. If you don't click submit, this will all go away as soon as you close the window, and you're going to have to do it all over again. We won't know that you even attempted to do it. If you don't hit submit, we won't know that you submitted anything. Okay. You've got 2 weeks to do this. Please make sure you do that. If you end up not doing this by the end of the 2 weeks, that button will go away. You won't be able to submit these, and we'll end up picking all your classes for you. So please do that so we know what you want, and we'll try to build your schedule as best as possible. One last thing to note, if we look through the electives one more time, you'll see that there are some on here like advanced business. I can't check that one off. That is because there's either a prereq that hasn't been met yet, meaning you haven't taken something that needs to be taken first, or you weren't recommended for that class. If you have questions about that, please see us. If you have questions about your recommendations, the classes that were recommended for you, feel free to talk to the teacher that recommended you for that class. Or if you're looking to get recommended for something that you weren't, also talk to your teacher for that subject. But you can come see us for a slip that the teacher can sign, and we can adjust that for you in the background. So that's course selection for the 21-22 school year. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. We're going to be available for the 2 weeks that the window is open, for you to come down during study hall and see us if you need it. But you will hopefully not have any issues getting this done, and we'll all be all set for next year. Thanks.